back to DXB today. I hope your day's been good. I hope we are enlightening you this evening as well. Big focus for us on, well, a whole host of topics: neurodiversity, autism, ADHD, dyslexia and more, and our greater awareness of each of these conditions. And let's meet our next guest now. As a mum who has been through her own neurodiverse challenges during her life, and then with her own children who have autism, she is now educating but also training others across the whole of the Middle East when it comes to inclusion. Please welcome Louise Dawson. Louise, absolutely brilliant to have you with us here as well.
Thank you for inviting us.
Looking forward to getting into this one, that all important I word, inclusion. But I suppose before then, we have to get to the J word. Why are we as human beings so judgmental?
Oh, I have no idea why we are judgmental.
So, Dr. Dawson, how?
Yeah, no, I'm not a doctor. Just clarifying that. So I think that it's human nature, and I think that it's survival of the fittest, and it's that need to win, that need to be better, that need to survive. So I do think it's an innate feature, but we're humans with brains, and we should learn to curb that. I think that's the learning that we need to do. Yeah.
As an autism dad, I'm very interested to maybe ask you about education when it comes to autism. The work that you do is incredible, but
Thank you.
It's very challenging for us as autism parents to, put our, sons or daughters in schools. What's the sort of, not advice, what can we do in order to make that a reality and for them to be really included in the education system?
It's a really big subject, and it's a really complex response. I am an autism mum myself, I've got 3. I'm autistic ADHD myself. I have lived experience of school rejection, exclusion, you name it, left school with no qualifications. But then I retrained as a teacher, so I've been a teacher and head of inclusion for 20 years, and I've now run my own business for 4 years, training teachers, training schools. There's a whole piece to do around school improvement. But historically, teachers are not trained, that's not their fault. They didn't go to school with other children who were identified as neurodiverse, so they don't have lived experience of working alongside different people, and if they do, it's from a judgmental point of view. So I don't feel that apportioning blame and criticism to anybody. We are where we are. But again, we all have brains, we should all learn to improve. So if you are a teacher and you have a child with need in your classroom, it is your job to then understand that child. And what you said earlier about every child being different and everybody having different needs, it is about that child. And there is no excuse for every child to not be supported, except they are running a class with 30 children. And the UAE is really complex because every child in the classroom has needs. They have come from different countries, they are all speaking different languages, they are all, every child in the classroom has needs. Top that with a really high needs child, you then have complex challenge, which is why we have additional adults brought in to the classroom to help. So training, experience, lived experience of being around neurodiverse people, that whole program, it just takes time. So I'm not about saying people are not doing their job or parents don't understand or children are really challenging. I'm about saying, where are we now? Let's take the next step.
And how has your work been received by these professionals? Have you faced challenges? Has it been positively welcomed?
Yes, but they're my clients, so I'm not going to be too divulgent.
Okay, what about the ones that don't pay you? No, I'm only joking.
Exactly.
But genuinely, has there ever been kind of any pushback where, say, a higher management has brought you in, but perhaps more people on the ground floor aren't so receptive to it?
So I think every environment I go to, again, like every child, every environment, every school, every leadership team, there is diversity in those people too, and in those environments. So again, complex and challenging. There's never one answer, and I'm always very conscious of that. Have I experienced it? Absolutely. As a neurodiverse person in the classroom, as a student doing my degree at 35, as a senior leader in a school, yes, I have sat across the room. We don't need children with autism in the school. I have sat in those environments. And some people you can help to move forward and some people you can't, and you have to know where to focus your energy.
Fair.
One of the things about working for myself is I am only ever at a table where I'm invited. And that's kind of why I came out of schools, is so that I'm in an environment where you want to hear my voice. And if people want to hear it, I'll talk. And if you don't, then you carry on and do your thing.
You do.
I can't help everyone.
I'm actually very curious about this thing, because we talk about schools, we talk about children in schools, but we never talk about what happens after they finish school and they go to universities, where they're most likely not in an environment that can help or have teachers that understand, and then obviously the workplace afterwards as well. So how do we spread awareness, or how do we train people to identify that and be more, be more aware of what these children need after they leave, as well as during the workplace where you're on your own and trying to adapt and make a living?
Sure. There are so many different pieces around inclusion. You've got the early years, the early identification, understanding children really early. You've then got education, making sure that young people have access to qualifications or to certification so that they can take their next step. Then you've got the moving into university and further education. Are there vocational courses? Are the university staff trained? They're, again, a huge complex piece. And then transitioning out into the workplace. One of the pieces of work we did in my first year, which I'm incredibly proud of, was a hotel approached me. They had an application from an adult with autism who's 22, hadn't been in education, hadn't been in school, COVID hit, and we trained every single member of staff in that hotel. And then we trained him how to transition into that hotel. And the way that we operate is we swoop in, we support, and then we slide out until they're independent. And that is a huge piece. So, and then it's adults. We have a lot of children being identified. My own process was my children became identified with autism, and then I became interviewed. I didn't become identified till I was 50. Everyone around me apparently knew, but I didn't know for myself, and no one had been. I don't know if they hadn't been brave enough, because I'm quite outspoken, but I think they thought I knew, because I'm an autism champion, and that's what I made my career out of.
We're almost out of time, Louise, but just to sort of wrap up on this one as well, and just sort of following on from that, and as much as we say more could be done, there is greater awareness now, and we are talking about it, and there's a more open forum as well. But from where you're at, and from your professional opinion, where are we at in terms of the greater awareness and the better understanding of the conditions we're talking about? Are we doing okay? Could we do better? Where are we at?
Who's we?
The world.
The world?
Actually, not the world.
No, it's
Dubai.
not the world. Let's
do
talk about
Dubai.
the UAE,
Yeah.
because the UAE is phenomenal. The UAE is one of the strongest systems that I've been in Hong Kong, I've been in the UK, I've worked in America, I've worked in Kuwait, Bahrain. UAE is phenomenal. The Ministry of Education, specifically ADEC and KHDA, and I've done quite a bit of work in RACDOC. We are so far down the road in terms of acceptance. We talk about the Arab culture. I think you said about the Arab culture. Everyone is at a different stage on the journey. I would say that Arab culture is far more inclusive than many cultures, because you have the traveller, you have you accept how many different nationalities into this country, how many are included in shops, in food, in every aspect of our community here. So I think that if we're talking UAE, we are so far down the road, and we are leaving everyone in our dust, 100%.
That's